Welcome in everyone to another checklist rundown. Today we're going to be going over 2021-2022 Obsidian from Panini. Obsidian is a definite mainstay in the soccer world. For the past several years, it is known and beloved for many different parts of it. One of the key things is numbered base cards. That way it's a shorter print product than most of what Panini puts out. At least that's where it has been. Now, there's a slight bit of a change that we can go over real quick. The most notable thing is that the print run has increased. Now the difference is the base set has gone from 100 to 200 cards, doubling. But to counter that, they have changed what the base cards are numbered out of. So instead of being out of 185 or 195, it is out of 105. This has seen an increase of about 10 to 15%. It's not major, but it is still something. On the other side, they have continued stalwarts and things that we all know and love with the black Colorblasts, which we will get into later, as well as the continuation of supernovas, my personal favorite insert from the product. He continued it this year, having Messi, Gavi, and Mbappe as the main chases for it. We didn't touch on this yet, but the root cause of this print run increase is the addition of all 20 EPL teams. We all know that they normally have a combination of random teams from different leagues to go along with the different nations. This year, they've gone away from that, adding all 20 in, and what we're going to do is we're going to focus on some rookies from the EPL, followed by some rookies from the rest of the entire world. What better place to start than with a well-known product by us already, Harvey Elliott, someone that we've talked about a lot so far. Young prospect for Liverpool, plays in midfield, now has a lot of help up front in Darwin Nunez. I see a lot of big things in his future. He's come back from the injury well. He is very scrappy, likes to get dug in, likes to make forward advancing plays. Exciting young prospect. Gabriel Martinelli, a player for Arsenal who has exploded this season after recovering from a knee injury from last year. He has made his way into the Brazil national team, starting several of their international games. Unfortunately, he only has a base card in the set. Would have liked to have seen more, but we will take what we can get. Joey Gelhardt currently plays for Leeds, center forward, young prospect, whole lot of talent. We didn't talk about him much with EPL Prism, but he is definitely worth targeting. He is probably the replacement for Paddy Bamford going forward. I mean, he's so injury prone, I don't see him keeping the starting job away from Joey for much longer. Michael Elise, Crystal Palace. Whole lot of talent built into one guy. He's played for the French under-21 team. I don't see him taking much longer to get into the French national team. Probably won't happen for the World Cup, but for the Nations League and different European tournaments going forward, I don't see why he can't have a breakthrough on the international level as well. He is already extremely crucial to what Crystal Palace is building. Cannot wait to see more of him, and excited that he's in the product. Anthony Elanga. We've talked about him before multiple times. I'm still not super impressed. He's done very well during the international break after the season. Perhaps with Man U getting its shit together, we can see a resurgence of Anthony Elanga under Erik ten Hag. Have to wait and see, hide and watch. But for now, nice to see him getting into this product as well. With all that taken care of, we'll look towards the entire rest of the world. Starting off with Raul Moro, Spain international, currently playing for Lazio, has made several appearances in Serie A and has looked pretty decent playing on the wing. Also played in the Europa League, played in the Italian Cup. A lot to look forward to in this young prospect, especially for the spot price. The spot price is going to be very cheap where he is concerned. Next up, Brian Brobby. He is currently contracted to RB Leipzig, but has played for the past several months on loan at Ajax. Very exciting young prospect. A lot of football talent coming from him. He is a center forward and has gotten a lot, and I mean a lot of goals considering his appearance rate in the Eredivisie. Also, on the cheaper side compared to a lot of the big striker talent in this set. Facundo Pellistri. He currently is contracted to Manchester United, has been loaned out to Alaves, and has played decently well for them. He's a winger, also under 20, which I mean is going to be a characteristic for most of these guys that we talk about. Very exciting prospect, and the fact that the way that he moves on the pitch with and without the ball is very good. His positioning, his box awareness is all very positive. Thing is, he doesn't score goals. That is a slight red flag when you're looking at a winger, but he affects the game in a positive way. And the thing is, with a lot of these more control-based wingers, as soon as you teach them and guide them towards getting the ball into the net, they tend to flourish. I'm going to put a lot of faith in his ability to develop and put him on my list for Uruguay. Gavi. Obviously, the heir apparent that we have all talked about throughout multiple different sets. Gavi, the king of all kings in Barcelona's midfield, already uprooting Pedri as the most beloved. 17 years old, absolutely killing it. I really wish that they had gone out of their way to make a Spain card for him. Would have been his debut card as a Spain international. That would have been really cool. But alas, they went with club level, which is fine. Aurelio Tchouameni. He has recently been bought, as I believe we all know, by Real Madrid. 100 million transfer, basically. And I'd say he's worth every penny. One of the best holding midfielders in the entire sport at this point, despite him being extremely, extremely young. But yeah, I mean, he's extremely impressive. Everyone loves him. I'm extremely excited to see him playing alongside some of the greatest midfielders that we've seen this generation with Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. And I would 100% agree that Real Madrid's midfield is probably set yet again for another decade worth of trophies. Now let's take some time to focus in on the U.S. men's and women's national teams. Panini knows that their card market is mainly American, and I know that my audience is mainly American, so best thing to do, definitely touch on this. They made a very deep checklist with a lot of base cards, autographs, and memes to go over. We're going to ignore that. We're going to focus on the most important bits of material that we can talk about, the autos. Of course, Pepe has a base. It's a rookie. That's fine. But the autos is where it's at. Starting off with Gianluca Busio. He has played in Serie A for the season when he hasn't been injured, and he looked very decent. And in Venezia's midfield, when he has been able to play, he is 20 years old and is a very good holding midfielder and can play just a little bit closer to a CM. Ricardo Pepi, rookie auto. Can't go wrong there. Christian Pulisic, Captain America, our Lord and Savior here in the U.S., can't go wrong having some autos from him. Matty Hoppe gets a very odd addition considering he hasn't featured much for the U.S. men's national team, but for a hot minute, he was the prospect at the end of the season last year in the Bundesliga. Landon Donovan, can't go wrong yet again, having one of the greatest men U.S. players to ever do it. Yunus Musa, going to be a prolific starter for us in the World Cup and everything going forward. I'm assuming he has shown pretty much a domination of that side of the midfield, so I don't think it's his job to lose. I think it's just his job. Period. The end. And Anthony Robinson stepped in, filled a role, and has completely taken over playing in that defense. We're going to be relying on him heavily going forward into the World Cup. Good idea to pick up some autos of him, assuming he's going to be as prolific as I think he is. For the women, we have Tierna Davidson, prospect currently playing for the Chicago Red Stars. Hope Solo, retired, kind of questionable to be added. Abby Wambach, Carly Lloyd, can't go wrong with Carly Lloyd. Mallory Pugh, who everyone loves. Rose Lavelle, who is one of our close friends. Mr. Mosef, brother Big Chungus Breaks, favorite person to PC, and Christy Pierce. Overall, very exciting checklist for America and the autos. We're not going to touch on the memes because there's just too many. But enough about the USA. We got to focus on everyone else. Starting off with Pedri. The young man has continued to sign stickers like crazy. They have been in every product since he was a rookie, and they will continue to be so with, good reason, one of the best prospects in the entire world. Luis Figo, one of the GOATs, played for Barcelona, played for Real Madrid, both sides. Loved him, love watching him play, love his highlight reels. Can't go wrong with a little Figo. Vinicius, another player that you can't go wrong with. His highlights are insane. He is one of the best prospects, best players out there. The Brazilian wonder boy, still playing for the national team at an extremely high level after dominating the Champions League. Absolutely no rest for his motor. Thierry Henry, one of the GOATs at Arsenal. This auto is for France, the national team. Obviously, everyone grew up watching Henry. Most of the strikers, most of the wingers of today will say that he is their inspiration, and I can understand why. KDB. There aren't a ton of KDB autos out there. The population is very low on them. About time that he started getting some love, and it's in a product that we can admire and we can appreciate. Gabriel Batistuta, one of the greatest Argentinian strikers ever. Greatest goal scorers ever in Argentine's history. Played a lot of time over in Serie A, back when it was in its absolute prime, when Italy was the place to be if you wanted to be in a top-tier European club. No one remembers his name now because it was back in the 90s, and a lot of people here did not get to watch the games. Doesn't change the fact that he is one of the absolute greatest to ever kick a football. Harry Kane. On his way to beating Wayne Rooney's goal-scoring record for England, if he hasn't already by this time. Prolific striker for Tottenham. Don't have much love for him. Don't care for him too much, but damn it, he can score goals. His partner, Sonny. Son Heung-min. One of the greatest partnerships in the Premier League to date would have to be Sonny and Kane, and they gave them both autos. What can you do? Cristiano Ronaldo. One of the GOATs of the game, one of the best to ever do it. Yet again, I can repeat it over and over and over again about the people on this list. You love him or you hate him, but he has autos for Manchester United in this. Wayne Rooney. Speaking of Manchester United autos, the big man, Shrek himself, Wayne Rooney, has signed for Man U and Everton. They're very short print. They're very hard to come by. Doesn't change the fact that he did it. Messi. PSG autos, as well as other hits. Can't go wrong with some Messi. No private signings that we know of, like happened last year, but nonetheless, still beloved. Now, I mentioned it earlier, it is time that we discuss it. The black Colorblasts have returned, thankfully, and hopefully they never leave us. They are beautiful, they are glorious, and they have some amazing names now, and one not so amazing. First off, they have Pedri from Barcelona, Erling Haaland from Dortmund, Kylian Mbappe of France, Ricardo Pepi, United States, Sonny from Tottenham, Saka from Arsenal, Cristiano Ronaldo from United, Jude Bellingham from England, Lionel Messi from PSG, and unfortunately, Ilkay Gundogan from Germany. What a weird addition to such a glorious set. Don't understand it when you have Kai to choose from and you have actually even Timo to choose from. Going with Ilkay Gundogan was just very, very strange. Now it's time for Beev's Bold Ones. Everyone's favorite segment where I tell you my bold prediction, bold claim, and frame it for posterity on the internet. Now then, the thing about last year's set that was so unpredictable was the fact that all of a sudden Darwin Núñez had the only card of his entire career showing up in Obsidian, and it skyrocketed because of his value going to the moon. Man was performing in the league, in the cups, in the Champions League, against anybody, anywhere, it didn't matter. All of a sudden, he was on the map big time in a big way. People needed his cards, needed to invest in them, and the only way they could was Obsidian. Now, I'm not saying that there are any guaranteed home run shots, but I wouldn't have said that Darwin Núñez was. As it stands, we've got outstanding candidates. We've got Facundo Torres, we've got Danilo Pereira, Raul Moro, Facundo Pelestri, to name a few. Guys that only have cards that are Obsidian. Even Aurelien Tchouameni. This is the only card that he's officially going to have as well. Now, there's no guaranteeing any of these people will be the same as Darwin. I am leaning towards the fact that they will. Luis Diaz is another candidate for this. The likelihood of it happening is higher than the likelihood that it does not. And I'm going to stand by that. Now, with all that being said, it is time for you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, help the algorithm, follow us on Instagram, and with a link down below, you can join the Discord. Get in on the conversation with all of us. Till next time, guys.